Guys, I could not stand when kids would pull fire alarms for fun in school. I mean, if this has happened in your school, then you probably went through the same thing like I did. In my elementary school, the alarms went off because of a kid pulling them. Because they were dumb. And it scared me a lot. I didn't get laughed at when the alarms went off because I knew it was serious. And the fire trucks had to come to our school. The fire department had to walk into the building and check and see if there was a fire, but it turns out there was no fire. And then they saw the pole station activated, and they said some kid in this building has pulled the alarm. Those kids did not read the pole in case of fire pole bar text on there because they were small, their eyes were little, the text was small, and they didn't clearly read what it says, so they pulled that. Pull in case of fire. That's right, because that school used the EST 270 SPO pull stations just like our high school does. I mean, how do you know when kids are messing around in the hallways in school? Is when you hear with no fire or no planned drill or test of the alarm system. Because some kid has pulled the alarms. I mean, if I see a kid do this, then I would grab them. I would pull them away from the alarm. I mean, when I saw someone try to go near, I would try to grab him. When I was in elementary school, the kid got away with it. It was not good. I mean, if I was there when a kid tried to pull the alarm back then I would have grabbed him and say, "Don't do it." I mean, I would grab them. I mean, I would have grabbed them away from it. I would say, "Do not do this or else you're going to get into big trouble." Yeah, I am smart. I'm not as stupid as these kids in my elementary school were that would set off the alarms for a prank. I mean, because they didn't know better not to pull fire alarms when there was no fire or when they didn't have permission to. I mean, if you've been to a school where kids would do something like this, then I feel your pain. I mean, I will never forget the times when the alarms went off due to a bad kid in elementary school. I mean, Those kids that pulled the fire alarm in my elementary school are not in school right now. Those kids that pulled the fire alarm in my elementary school back then had not been in school for many years because they got expelled because they pulled the alarms. Not good. This is why you never ever pull fire alarms in school unless there is a fire in the school. Or else you are going to get expelled like those kids did. So far, so good. No one has pulled the alarm in our high school yet. And I hope it never happens. I mean, someone hasn't pulled the alarm in my school in many years, which was good. Because I have smart kids in my school right now, but in elementary school, there were some smart kids like me, but there were some dumb kids that would pull the alarms. Not good. I mean, they thought it was funny. They thought it was a good idea to pull the alarm. But it's not. The reason why kids would pull fire alarms in school is because they don't want to go to class. That is the reason why kids would do something like this. Really? Oh my goodness. We need to speak up about this. Fire alarms are not a toy. They are a life safety device. I mean, if you pull a fire alarm for a prank, you are putting people's lives at risk. Not good. In fact, those kids in my elementary school that pulled the alarm were responsible for many deaths in this area from a fire because the fire department was not at the fire somewhere else because they had to stop at our elementary school to respond to a false fire alarm that a stupid kid has pulled. I mean, those kids sadly costed many lives. They were not thinking. But I am smart, and I never ever did something like this. And I'll never ever do something like this because I know how serious it is. Guys, I hope this teaches you a lesson to never ever pull fire alarms in public without a fire. Do not end up being like these kids in my elementary school. I am serious. If there were a school resource officer in my elementary school, then that officer would have arrested those kids for pulling the alarms. I am serious. I mean, they got away with it because I was not there to stop them. If I were there to stop them, then this would not have happened. I am smart. I mean, if a kid tries to go up and pull the alarm, then I would have grabbed him. Then I would grab them. I am serious about this. I am upset with those kids that did it. Back then, I was upset with those kids that pulled the alarm because I knew what they did was wrong. I was not laughing when the alarms went off because I knew it was serious. I would have spanked them if I was near them back then when they pulled the alarm. I would have been like, to that kid. They deserve it because they pulled the alarm. Please, kids, stop pulling fire alarms in schools. Please. Bye.